This is the CC Radio Podcast.
Welcome to episode 219 of the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. Today, if I'm honest, things are going to probably get slightly uncomfortable on the show. Stay tuned for some man love. My name is Wayne.
For one of us more than the other. My name is Paul. Welcome to the podcast. We count down movies and sometimes television in order of awesomeness, so you don't have to. And immediately, if you're a regular listener to the show, you may notice something strange about this, and that is my voice is deeper, far deeper than it normally is.
Yes.
I have some kind of bug. It's been a long time since I've been sick.
It's the sexy motherfucker bug.
That's right. I've decided to go Barry White for this
How
episode.
appropriate for this episode.
Ain't gonna know you love me.
That's right, bitch. Perfect.
Been a long time since I've been sick, so our household has been laid low, and I was the third and final person of the house to fall.
I've heard that shit gets real.
Yeah, look, it's not pleasant, but I will survive.
All right,
let's
man.
put it that way.
You back.
Now, Wayne, let me introduce today's show by a little bit of a recap. If you're new to the show, welcome.
Hey, everyone.
In other words, my voice is completely normal for you.
You just got sexy this week for me.
In this show, we count down a topic from 10 to 1 while throwing shade at each other's list. That is the purpose of
Always.
this, to try to discredit the other person whilst beefing yourself up.
That's Paul's. I just want everyone to be happy.
Sure. That's
Paul's
why
a bitch.
when I hit the soundboard like this,
With some completely fucking unrelated sound.
Eat my ass!
See, he even throws sound of me
man.
back at me. It's fucked up.
the soundboard exists to make Wayne upset, so therefore he's not wanting everyone to be happy,
Fuck y'all.
just to prove that point. So yeah, it's great to have you on board. Thank you for joining the show. This is a little different topic, and Wayne, perhaps you can explain how this topic came about.
Well, it may have been my idea.
May have been.
I have many man
This is
crushes.
the dumbest
Fuck
shit
off.
anyone ever said
See,
in the history of, and I
Fuck
don't
it.
think I'm exaggerating
So
here.
anyone new
All right.
is just like, fuck these guys. All right. Fine. Now, yes, I man crush all the time, and I talk about it very often. So, Paul is less forthcoming with the amount of dick he likes to suck, but I personally am totally fine to just tell you all about it. Now, I'm not technically gay, but I'm about 90% straight, is how I would put it. So,
I can appreciate the finer male form without needing to suck said dick.
but it's funnier if we talk about it like that. So,
I think
yes.
you've probably got an idea of the show now. If
My
you're
idea.
Not a regular listener. Yes, that's
Paul's
right.
really uncomfortable. That was another thing that was a bonus about this show.
Well, I'm comfortable. I'm fine to talk about what men are.
He just
Not
can't
just hot, but
pontificate.
why I crush on them. And I don't just crush on them because they're looks, Wayne. I'm deeper than that.
Let me tell you something, people. The manliest man should not be ashamed to have a man crush. It is not a sexual thing, mostly. It is an admiration thing. It
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah,
it
that's
goes
a
a
good-
little
that's a
bit
good way of
further.
putting it, yeah.
Yes, a guy develops a man crush when he dreams about hanging out with the person or getting beers with them and punching each other in the shoulder. They start to model themselves a little bit after the man crush. Maybe,
Yes.
mimic a few traits. Buy
I'm not
shit
sure
they
about the
endorse.
shoulder punching, but the hanging thing.
The hanging thing.
with. Just
Absolutely.
hanging out, having a few drinks, talking shit.
You might even fantasize about being that person or being inside that person. I'm just saying. Like, you may. I'm just saying.
You might.
Now, everyone, there's a few rules when you're choosing a man crush. Okay?
Oh, is it?
Not rules so much,
None
but-
of which we discussed.
No, more guidelines, really. This is just my personal
okay.
guide to finding a man crush.
Hang on.
Thrill me.
Okay. The important thing is to remember when choosing a man crush, is
What is a man crush?
a man crush is like a Prussian guy who's I don't know, fuck it.
Who is a man?
Yeah, you gotta pick someone timeless, okay? Don't be picking no damn flavor of the week MTV whatever dude, because they'll be out in 2 minutes. You look like an idiot. You gotta choose someone who's gonna keep going. So that's your jam, all right?
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've done that, Paul.
Do you think so?
Well, we'll see. I'm more likely to pick a frivolous person than you, so
Think so.
we
yeah.
shall see.
All right, that's going to be today's show. We're going to be pretty much straight into it. There's just one thing we need to check in on, and that,
What's
of
that?
course, is the movie watching challenge.
Oh, that's right. What's the movie watching challenge, Paul?
Daniel Henderson and I from the IMDb Journey podcast came up with an idea of who can watch the most films this year. Last week, we revealed on the show we have restricted it now to the first of 500 films for the year, of which I have a healthy lead,
No shit.
and both of us are feeling the effects, and who knows, maybe that's why I gotten sick, because not enough sleep, motherfucker. Anyway,
what's
the
score?
current score stands at, for Daniel, 293 films to this point, June 9th of
It
2019.
has not even been 6 months.
For me, it's 349.
Holy
I've extended my lead by about 5 or 6 this week. Worked very hard to do so. I will break you, Daniel.
Oh my god. You both freaks. Okay. Well
Some
done, man.
listeners are involved. Blake Jarvis is right there. Etienne is right up there. And we're going to have a prize for the winning listener to the show, which we haven't decided on yet. But whoever gets to 500 after me, because I'm going to win.
It'll So you can give it to yourself. Got it?
No, after me, I said.
Oh, after you.
Yes,
Got it.
yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, very confident. Very confident. Okay.
Hey, live your life one movie at a time.
Thanks, Vin Diesel. All right. Fantastic.
All right, then, Wayne, without any further ado, let's get into it then. The top 10 movie man crushes.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Matter good man. Bit of inspiration.
It was a late idea, everyone.
Struck us on that one. Okay, then the top 10 movie man crushes. This is your baby, Wayne, as we have discussed. So perhaps I shall lead us
Yeah, you lead
away
up, man.
today. My number 10 then is a man who sneaks onto this list because he has the looks of an Adonis and the body of a deity, which is kind of perfect because he plays Superman.
Oh my god.
I am, of course, talking about Henry Cavill.
No! How low is this choice? That motherfucker is beautiful.
It's a beautiful man.
Oh,
but as
Jesus.
I have suggested, Wayne, my list is about more than just good looks.
Well, mine's about elbows in a cock. This is fucking huge.
Because, to be honest, it's all about looks with Henry Cavill. There's
there's-
a little bit of personality there. Like, when there was a whole conjecture
Oh.
about whether it was going to be Superman or not, he did that weird Instagram or whatever it was video where he's sort of popping up into shot and holding a Superman figure and disappeared again.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. But
So, like, but I don't see enough beyond the good looks to convince me that this is a man that I want to have a man crush on.
Okay.
No, I have one, but not as strong as the other 9 on my list.
sure. Look, Henry Cavill, I've simply never seen a more handsome man. All right?
I'll tell you what lets him down.
What?
This is coming from a man who's too hairy himself. Fully He's got too much chest hair.
Dude, that's what makes him cool. Here's the thing. Any other pretty boy would have waxed
Yeah,
that shit.
I'm
all right?
sorry, I'm
But he's
2019
rocking
about this. Manscaping is where it's at.
I know, I'm down with the scape, y'all. Don't you worry about that. Some brother's got a clipper going on all day, all right? That's fine.
I'll get from Tuesday to Wednesday without my clip.
Dude, you could eat off my pubic mound. Forget about it.
And people often do at the local Japanese cuisine.
I've never really been that 9.5 weeks kind of guy, I gotta tell you.
Or the Showdown Little Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, that too. We used to have a place like that in Perth.
We did?
Yeah, it's called Slick Chicks.
And that rings a bell.
Yeah, then they got busted by the government and they had to put Glad wrap over their titties in a fur burger, and then you could eat off that. That's right.
Well done.
There you
Managed
go.
to bring breasts and other parts
They're no
into a
longer
movie
around.
man
They're no
crush episode.
Well, we had to guide up some. But listen up. Let's talk about your Henry Cavill, though. He's the right kind of English, okay? If I was English, I would totally be trying to push that James Bond angle. I would wear white cotton Oxford shirts and a spread collar because white people can do that. But if you have, like... we could totally. No, it doesn't really work for us brown folks, but...
Shout out to James Spence, listener, good friend, patron to the show, who, in response to a tweet from someone famous during the week, is asking for podcasts that don't have white guys talking. It's like, the Countdown PC has one Asian co-host who talks about it all the time.
Yeah, Asian, brownie, Asian, Brogan, Brasian. Anyway, so... Of course. But that whole thing of his being like refined, it's kind of this Oxford kind of English. It ain't the, hello, governor, what's up, you down there? You know, it ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
All his shit is tight, man. I've never seen a chest like that. How does he even
It's
make...
barrel.
How
It's
do
a
you-
barrel.
No, it's actually like, you can sit a drink on it. It's weird. It's like, it's a
There's a
shelf.
lot of setting things in your world.
There is.
Yeah,
It is.
human things,
Yeah,
I mean.
because things hold shit, man. What's up? But yes, your Henry Cavill choice is ridiculously low.
Okay, I may have offended some there, but I'm sorry. That's the best I could get him. That's my 10.
Okay,
Over to
here's
you.
a number 10, all right? And it's an odd one, too, because this guy is under the radar. It's Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, would have been my 11.
Really?
Honestly, I was like him, Cavill, and you know why he kind of got it? Because
Look, if he's up against Superman gonna win.
yeah, but I'll tell you why. I looked at him in sort of at his peak hotness,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And it was more Deadwoody, right? And your favorite show,
Justified.
Because that's not a movie. So even though we had a Deadwood movie, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
did you watch the Deadwood movie yet?
Is it out?
It's finished.
It's out.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see that shit.
Yeah, I watched it.
I have to recap season 3. Fuck it. All right.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep. Read some articles. Anyway.
That's the cool thing. This guy here. Yeah, you're right. And again, this isn't as much. It's about hotness, sure. And yes, I love Justified. He's the coolest dude ever. Pulls off a 10-gallon hat in a fucking modern
Not
day.
many people can do that.
He kills it, man, all right? Now, he started out by trying to be a stand-up comedian.
Did he now?
Yes. He was on the Nerdist podcast. They asked him if they found any difficulty being a stand-up comedian while also being an attractive man. And he said, I've gotten shit for it. Like, it's tough because when it comes to stand-up, it's the only time where being good-looking actually hurts you.
That's a good point. You don't see many good-looking
No,
comedians.
you don't, because there's nothing funny about a perfectly healthy, attractive man. Like, he'd be talking to you about shit that happened to him, and you as an audience member might be like, imagining what it's like to be him. That's not comedy. But being glad that you're not someone, that's comedy. So this is his thing. But more than that, I just think he pulls off cool pretty well, but he really does
he's definitely cool.
fly under. So I don't know. I find that somewhat attractive.
Did you watch Santa Clarita Diet?
I did watch one season of it, and I know it got cancelled after the second.
Third.
Third, is it?
Third.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. No, and he's actually pretty good in that, but that's a very low substance kind of... It's a funny-ish kind of show.
Yeah, he's kind of bouncing off Drew Barrymore. Who's
It's actually a fine, fun watch, but I didn't get it.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Timothy Oliphant.
My number 9 is another man who I don't know a lot about him personally, so I can't judge him.
It's tough, but sometimes you just want to fuck it.
Yeah, well, or at least admire it beyond belief,
Sure.
because this man has the rockingest body of, I think, anyone currently going around.
More than
Talking
that?
about Michael B. Jordan,
Oh!
circa Creed and Creed 2.
Paul likes a bit of fucking coffee,
Even
mate.
Black Panther. Come on, look at this.
No, that's-
look at this young man.
Forget about in Creed 2 with the bulk and the shit like that. I was like, damn, no one's really mentioning how fucking cut he is.
Oh my god,
Because it's insane. It's
It
like
is
bulk and
ridiculous.
cut. Yeah, he's got some fucking shit going on, man. That's some nutritional shit going on there. That's
So
like-
Creed in particular, Creed 2, I think he's probably gone even bigger. But Creed for me is like that is if you could be that age and be any shape you want to be, that's it.
That's the thing. I mean, Creed, like, he was a bit of, because he's that rough kind of character or whatever, not so much. But I've enjoyed his work because I think he's got a bit of charm, this fella.
Oh, he's wonderful in Fruitvale Station as a more
Yeah.
everyday dude.
That's right.
and he's definitely got range. There's no
yeah,
question.
he can do the villain in Black Panther. Forget about it. So yeah, he's cool. That's a good.
He
choice.
seems like a cool dude, but I don't have any substance to that feeling.
It
Whereas
does seem
the higher up
though.
on my list we go, the more substance I have to. Well, this guy's cool because blah.
Okay, fair enough. It's gonna be interesting on this list.
Hmm.
Not bad. Michael B. Jordan, fantastic. My number 9 is John Hamm. Everyone, John Hamm. Okay.
Yeah, look, I see it from the looks perspective. Does he carry it off in other areas?
Yes, here's the thing. In recent years, John Hamm's finally managed to distance himself from the madman, ego, Don Draper looking dude, whatever. So he was like this soft-talking, hard-drinking alpha male. Fine, all right? He's gone from that to basically turning into a funny man. He started doing some one-step ahead shit by going with comedy. Like, he's been, like, in 30 Rock. If you ever watch 30 Rock, his appearances on there are piss funny. To the point of, like, faking Jamaican accents and stuff. It's very, very... stuff you wouldn't think he could pull off. And then he goes in and does, like, Bridesmaids. Bridesmaids was awesome. He was piss funny in that. He was a complete douche, and he played it perfectly. And
Which worries me a little bit.
Not really. We're all douches, Paul. We're all douches. The question is, can you reproduce it in front of a camera?
Can you what?
Can you
Produce-
reproduce it in front of a camera? To me, a guy who's got range in comedy, even though he's that good looking, like, why would he try comedy when you're already that good looking? If I was him, I'd turn up on set and say, I'm just going to handsome this one out. I don't even give a fuck about anything. Brad Pitt does that sometimes. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if John Hamm's immune from that. But
Oh, well, none of us are, Paul.
but
But
it's pretty, well, it's a burden. We have to live with it.
exactly, no.
But Baby Driver, I liked him in Baby Driver.
Oh, dude, baby, that's some range right there, because he became an actual bad guy instead of just funny or glaring.
Yeah, he starts
So-
off as a nice enough guy and becomes
He's the bomb.
less so.
Even with that hair, that wedge hair, that thing, he's still cool. He pulls that shit off. That guy's got to be, what, 45, 50? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say his late 40s.
All right, so yeah, big fan, John Hamm.
All right. Yep, I thought that would be on the list. There's a couple others that I have very small amount of money
I
on.
reckon you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
My number 8 is it's a classic one. It's not the most classic guy,
Sure.
but it's close to it. So I'm talking a certain era with this one.
I don't know. We're talking about an old guy now.
Late 70s,
Yep.
early 80s, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. All right, now.
Motherfucker. Whoa.
Dude, no question that Harrison Ford is the coolest, like, at the time in terms of timelessness and shit. So that's definitely hitting that thing. Keep going.
He is your old school traditional manly man in some ways.
Big time.
Right? So particularly Dr. Indiana Jones is he's
There's
the best
no
at
other-
everything.
Exactly. He's the best.
Yes, he's got Han Solo, who's got all the roguish charm in the world.
Yes.
But for me, when he's Indiana Jones, he's got that charm as well as the education.
Agreed.
He's a
He's a
university
scholar, much
professor.
like yourself. I get
Yeah,
that. I
he's
totally get that.
He is able to, get shaved up and put on the suit and rock up to class and look just as debonair and handsome as when he's rocking the leather jacket and the sweat-stained armpits and he's running through a jungle trying to save his life with the 3-day stubble.
And making the satchel work.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Who can make a satchel work?
God knows, but like Indy is the guy, man.
Well, they gave up after this. That's why.
He could make a fanny pack work. That's how cool that motherfucker is. I'm telling you, it had to be a leather one. It's beat up a little.
It's too early to make big calls.
The only reason Harrison is not on my list, he's not on my list, is because first of all, my sister had the biggest crush on him in the history of time. My big sister back when I was a kid. So it's a little weird if we both want to fuck the dude. But secondly, right,
Okay. Having never had a sister, I'll have to go with that one.
yeah, and he apparently is quite the pot smoker. Which
wasn't aware of that.
I have a lot of friends who are that too.
Yeah,
so
sure, a lot
that's
of friends.
very endearing.
Yep.
Very endearing.
Well, I'll give you one more reason why he's on my list and
Yeah.
why he comes in at number 8 ahead of Michael B. Jordan and Henry Cavill. He is a renowned guy for not being big on himself. Like,
Is he?
Well, he shuns the spotlight, which means
That's actually true.
who was the guy?
he's old.
We spoke about this.
Yeah.
Though. Who was the guy who brought people into his room to make business deals with all his awards and shit on the wall?
Oh, I can't remember. Yes, there was a guy like
wasn't
that.
Sylvester Stallone, was it?
It's someone famous though. Would it be Sly?
I don't know. Anyway,
Seems Slayish.
I reckon he's the complete antithesis of that. I think he's the opposite.
Do you know you're probably right, and as a result, he doesn't play up to like the camera a lot.
Yeah. So when you hung out with him, it wouldn't, as much as you want to hear about it to start with,
Yeah.
it'd get fucking tiresome real fast if every time be like, back to me.
It would, but I'll tell you something else. He's a gruff motherfucker. Like
Yeah,
he was on the Nerdist podcast, and even the podcast, like he's like, "No, I don't think I did a good job here. And then he was told by Jon Favreau that you have to get Harrison Ford angry. That's how you get him to talk, right? Apparently,
Okay.
Yeah, this is cool though. Harrison Ford, I think, had Jon Favreau said, "I'll give you a lift in my plane," because he flies a fucking Cessna or something, right? And so we'll go back to the studio from this location on the plane with me, just you and me in the thing. And
Okay.
then Jon Favreau's like, "Oh, okay. Hey, so is it like?"
Do I get in-flight service?
No, he was like, he's trying to say like, oh, how safe is it? Like, it's just weird,
'Cause,
right?
yeah,
And
lots of celebrities kill
he's like,
themselves
so
in their plane.
how do you do this? How do you do that? And Harrison Ford shuts him down and goes, "If I die, you die."
You know what? And this is a bit weird, but maybe there's an element of my dad in Harrison Ford.
No,
Because-
this stuff happens. I know.
No, but my dad once said to me, the reason why you never need to be frightened flying in a plane is because the pilots have as much vested in the plane staying up as you do.
Excellent advice as a guy.
So and I've never had a fear of flying. I reckon as a direct result of that.
Really? I've got an iPod playlist called "Songs Not to Die To," and I fucking play that on the takeoff and landing.
None of them is Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, so there's that. But okay, good
Yeah,
one.
I just think, and he's also famous, Harrison Ford, for doing that speech where was he put into whatever lifetime category award, the Academy Awards, whatever.
Yeah.
And he got there, he goes, I prepared 2 speeches, a long one and a short one. And he's like, I'll give you the long one first.
That's good.
No, so I'll give you the short one first.
All right.
Thank you. And then he pulled out the long one, this big piece of paper. He's like, thank you very much. And he walked off. I'm like, damn. I'm sure I told that on the podcast before.
I haven't heard that one.
That
I
was
would have
awesome.
forgotten it. That is baller.
Yep. So if you want a quiet guy you can just chill with, who's not going to be full of himself and telling stories. And I thought, of 10, I want one of those guys. That's why he's at my number 8.
That might work for me because I talk too much. And then it'd be good to have a guy just listening. Okay.
Sure.
Very nice. My number 8 is definitely one of the ones that you bet is on here, but I can't leave the guy off, okay? It's George Clooney.
Oh, yeah, for full
George Clooney, baby.
Shields.
Oh, yeah.
And the bookies have paid out. They're very, very pleased on that one. Short price favourite.
Look, here's the thing, all right? I think not just me, but a lot of men love him because he doesn't dye his hair, he drives a motorcycle, he doesn't go on fad diets, he grows a beard if he fucking feels like it, and then he cares about charitable causes and politics without sounding like a preachy bitch. That's an important thing.
There's definitely a depth to him.
I heard that those Nespresso ads he does, they paid for a satellite that he put over the fucking Middle East that he can actually do his own monitoring. I've heard that.
On what? Fucking
On the Middle East situation, he's really...
org conspiracy. Conspiracies doc org.
He's heavily involved in...
Maybe you want to give Kate a call for Believe and...
Yeah, well, look, I don't know. But more importantly, this guy is just the ultimate cool. How can you say a bad word about him? He's handsome as you want to be, right? He got that perfect salt
Single
and pepper
again.
shit. Single? Is
you
he?
got a chance.
Is him and Amal broke up?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm terrified. What?
I've shattered Wayne's world.
Oh, no!
What? No.
You're kidding.
I believe so.
That was perfect. She was a human rights lawyer. hot as shit and fucking that's a terrible.
I feel like there's two more sound bites that are three that are very, very appropriate.
Inconceivable.
What the hell? I am crushed.
And the last one.
Game over, man. Game over.
All of those added nothing to this podcast.
What are we gonna do?
You know, I have two pigeons that visit my house that I give seed to. I like them so much I called them George and Amal.
Well, you need
I
to
can't
rename
believe-
one of them.
Man,
Or let one go.
Okay, well, that's very upsetting, but just so I can say
He
this.
really does have pigeons that visit his house.
I do.
It's fucking lame.
Some of us like nature, Paul, you fucking prick.
Yeah, but won't commit to owning a pet. But anyway, moving on.
Anyway, this guy looks like he was born in a tuxedo. And
statement.
frankly, that's the shit. Like, I actually have a tailor where to go, can you make me look like Clooney? And he goes, no. So
That was after your mum chimed in and said, you're not George Clooney,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
yeah, it's a long story, everyone. So anyway, George Clooney is the shit. I dare anyone to make a call against that.
No, that's
He's definitely the
fine. That's a fine call. Not on my list, but I understand why. Most definitely on yours.
VIP.
My number 7 is, I guess I got a lot of contemporary ones, but it's Chris Evans.
Oh, good call. He was a late, I had to bump him for someone, but that's great. That's great.
I feel like having spent so long with him as Captain America.
Absolutely,
and
I know him.
And the film I would pick him in is in Avengers Endgame, because I think he grows into that role progressively and literally as we progress through the
In
films.
every Captain America and Avengers movie, he's been the fucking bomb.
He's one of those rare guys who can rock a beard and not. And I'm not a beard dude. You won't see a lot of beards on my list.
No, me neither.
But if you are into beards, this man,
Oh, he's making that shit
sells it
work.
for
All right,
for
forget
sure.
about it.
he seems like a really nice guy as well.
That's the thing that's going to get you.
Really, like, and not just because he plays Captain America, but in real life, when you hear him talk and whatever.
Very self-deprecating,
Yes.
very laughing at shit that everyone does, very, giving. He's very giving.
Yeah, and that's really important to me when we get high on my list. I don't want anyone who's stuck up. And,
See this? Paul does not like a selfish man.
Nope.
In fact, who does?
Nope. And you know what? If we're going to lay together, then I don't want him to be selfish either.
No, you want that dick all up in your ass. Captain Ameridick. Boom! So,
Yeah, that's my 7.
no, excellent call. I really agree. That's good shit. That's good shit. My number 7 was a late entrant, but I decided he's here.
Once Wayne unclenched.
My number 7's Dick. No, I'm sorry. It's Bradley Cooper, everyone. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And
I
this
see
is
that.
a bro style
Also
crush.
recently single. I'm noticing a fucking trend here.
Really?
Yeah, I read this
Why do you think
literally
they
last
are?
night on the
Why
toilet.
do you think they have this single?
On
They
the
heard my
toilet.
shit was looking for dick. No.
Wait a second. The countdown's to top 10 movie man crushes. You're out.
I didn't know he was recently single. How do you know?
The Daily Mail told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was he? Was he married?
Well, no, it's with that model. They got a kid together. The one that everyone was like, "Oh, look at her staring daggers at Lady Gaga at the Academy Awards."
Oh, really?
I can't remember her name.
Ah,
I don't
well,
follow that closely.
I guess I'm sorry to hear this, Bradley, but, you know.
But give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But, look, I understand he's a pretty man, but I'm actually looking to just hang out with him because we don't pay much attention to him back in the day when it was like the Wedding Crashers. He just looks like a pretty boy, right?
Now, I've always had a thing for him, not in that way, but I've always paid attention to it because of Alias. He was Sidney Bristow's best friend
Oh, yeah. See,
before anyone knew him as anything.
well, I actually don't find him that good looking. I actually think that
Okay.
what I'm impressed with is okay, so The Hangover comes along and stuff like that, and that's okay, that's good. But Limitless, the what's the one he just did, the Star Is Born, for him to nail that so hard, do 4 years of prep, learn to fucking play the guitar, learn to sing, change his voice, do all this shit.
Oh, I get it now.
Put
Wayne
on weight.
wants to do a duet with him.
I want to do a little duet with him, man.
Something more.
No, but more than that, he seems like he seems like just the balls to hang out with because he's really good with his press. Like he always does heaps of press, and people have said, "I've never met a star that's so eager to talk to reporters
That's
all
nice.
day."
That's- because that's part of the job.
Yeah.
and it must be the part of the job they get like Harrison Ford dark with very fast.
Absolutely, they would hate him. Plus, he speaks French like a motherfucker. Go Google a YouTube clip where he's just being interviewed in French, and he's speaking fluent French on a French show, and there's just women dropping coolant all over the place, man.
Women.
Women and me. Bradley Cooper.
All right, that's a nice choice. Probably could have replaced Cavill or even Michael B. Jordan on my list. That's a good choice.
Really?
I like it.
Oh, okay, not bad.
My number 6 is the oldest on my list, and he's now sadly passed, which is a shame. But of course, happens in the end to all of us. And I'm talking about Paul Newman.
Oh, Paul Newman's a great choice.
Paul Newman.
He's on my list, but because he's so I was never around
Dead.
while he was big. Yeah.
But I, as part of the movie watching challenge, I watched a lot of classic films this year to get through the IMDb top 250. Like Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke is the bomb.
And The Sting.
Yep, I remember that shit.
He's meant to be the old guy against Robert Redford, but yet for a man to put Robert Redford to shame in a film, holy shit! In terms of his looks and charm.
Well, I look. Robert Redford's a better-looking guy.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, look, it's a tough
There's
one.
a piercing blue eye.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. If you like that John Slattery shit, right, then you're probably going to have with that, right? But
and I got no idea if he was a good bloke or not because he's passed along.
I'm going to tell you something about Paul Newman, right? Paul Newman is how every man should age. That's how it is, okay? And I don't just mean his looks, all right? Because he was a great-looking guy forever, okay?
Yeah, he never looked.
No, because he was always grey.
Yeah.
And so that happens.
Yeah, he's prematurely grey in The Sting, like 73.
That's right, and he made it happen.
And I think that's how they. And I wasn't even sure if they made his hair grey because he's meant to be playing the older guy.
Good point. Cool Hand Luke. It seems like he was
Cool Hand
very
Luke,
light.
Cool Hand
Was
Luke.
he
No,
blonde?
he was. There was no grey in there.
Oh, okay.
That's late 60s, I think. That film.
Okay. So it is actually how he's. Well, it's like George Clooney. He's early grey too. That's why this guy's timeless,
Yeah,
right?
this distinguished.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing about Paul Newman, right? Not only does he grow like a pimp, not only does he do his pasta sauces purely for charity, shit like that, right?
Which were the basis for nachos for a very long time.
Oh, dude, we made the best nachos with Socceroonie. Forget about it. But he actually fucking is a gruff old man that races cars. That's what he fucking does with his retirement. He's a car racer. What the fuck? You legend. You guys getting too old, so I'm just gonna race cars.
Yep.
Boom.
Great
This
guy.
guy's cool as shit.
Amazed at just
I
how.
imagine he's probably a prick because he's an older guy who was around in that era, but who cares? If he
Yeah,
can swing
yeah,
that shit,
well,
I'd be a prick too.
Yeah,
Forget about
I
it.
think no one is Wilford A. Brimley, but prickness, but still.
Okay.
According to the So I Made a Movie Geek podcast.
Is that so?
Justin Chrissy, yeah, he is the worst man alive.
Who is that guy?
From The Thing, Blair.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
A guy who looked 60 when he was 40.
yeah, crotchety looking motherfucker. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. From one old guy that became gruff to possibly another old guy who is not gruff. This is the most charming man I've ever seen on a screen or heard of.
Okay.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh,
You know it's Alec Baldwin.
another short price favorite. There's only one left now.
I know. We'll see how this goes. He was married to Kim Basinger, everyone. Kim Basinger was in Batman.
And that's the point where
She was
Wayne
so
Basinger.
awesome. I just went, come on.
Wayne would be Eskimo sisters with Kim Basinger if that's how he got close to Kim Basinger.
I would scissor the shit out of her. But
I'm saying
Oh, what-
if it meant that you had something in common with Kim Basinger, you would let Alec Baldwin fuck you.
Absolutely. Because then we'd be wiener cousins. No, wait, no, because
That's what I'm saying. You'd be
I'd have to
scissor
sleep with
sisters.
her for that. Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right. Anyway, sorry. But people, apart from all the coolness,
I'm trying to remember the name of that, the lyrics to that Scissor Sisters song, but I couldn't do
I
it.
don't feel like dancing. That one.
Yeah, there's another one, but yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry.
Moving on.
Moving on. Remember Glenn Ross?
I do.
That little cameo he did where he literally had brass balls in his hand and stuff was just spellbinding.
Yeah, it was.
And I've seen him do live Saturday Night Live monologues that go for 10 minutes where he's walking around a set. Boom, this guy is killer. He is old school, but
Go on, do your Departed bit. Go on.
It's tough
Regale
to do.
the audience
It's tough to
again.
do. Hang on, here we go. Hey, we're gonna go out for a smoke. You want to smoke? Oh, you don't smoke, do you? What are you, a health nut? You're a health nut, aren't you? Go fuck yourself.
Nice.
Perfect. All right, so
Nice.
he's good shit. But more than that, okay, this guy is an intensely interesting man. I was watching
Let's
his...
be honest, that's the way Wayne wants to be spoken to in the bedroom.
Let's face it, who doesn't, Paul? Everyone likes a bit of rough. So, as I say, though, all right, I saw his episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Seinfeld, and not only was he, every time
Whoa.
What?
And a whoa.
What?
He's not a comedian.
Alec Baldwin is funny.
He's not a comedian.
It doesn't matter. You can put him on that show and I'll watch the shit out of it, which I
You will watch the shit out of
did.
it.
Hey, man, that's a hit show. What do you want? Picked up by the flicks. What
But
do you
he's
want?
not a comedian.
Yeah, I'm sure he's done stand-up one or twice. He's just, it doesn't mean... It doesn't
Because he hosted SNL, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty comedian-y. All right? So, anyway, as I said...
Stretching it, Seinfeld.
But he's not just pushing that. He's just, talking these intensely interesting anecdotes about life and art. But he also drops wisdom all over the place. Like he said this. He said, men need their women to love them. He's like, when a man knows that his woman is absolutely in love with him.
This is amazing. Please continue.
No, I'm telling you, when a man knows that his woman is in love with him, he gains the confidence to go out in the world and do amazing things. And I've never thought of it like that. That's why men need women, everyone. In a show where we're talking about guys we want to fuck, let's talk about how women help us. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping some spice in it.
Oh, you've lost me.
All right, well,
You and Alec Baldwin have both lost me. You're treating that like it's sage advice.
it is sage advice. If I was sitting out hanging out with him at a gentleman's club drinking scotch and he's like, this is the thing about life. Oh, that was some good shit. See, this guy's useful. I want to hang with him.
I'd be like,
because I
You're
admire.
mocking me, aren't
Well, maybe you know everything about life already, Paul. But some of us are looking for
Really, let's be
direction.
honest. You're hanging out at this club, you're having these drinks, he's dropping advice, you just be like,
you? Suck my dick.
Yeah, because I'll have a shit soundboard there, and that's what's going to happen. Anyway, Alec Baldwin.
that was gold.
Oh, come on. He's done so much good shit. Forget about it. Also, 30 Rock.
Ugh,
That is like a crowning achievement in his
most
career.
overrated show of all time.
Oh, bitch, you don't know shit.
Except for maybe It's Always Sunny in
Fuck
Philadelphia.
it. That shit's good shit, too. Fuck all y'all. Fuck y'all. All right.
Ah, God. All right, moving right along then to the top halves of the list. Yes, my number 5 is the person you denigrated earlier, Brad Pitt.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, tell me about Brad Pitt, Paul. Are we talking a specific era? Or is there
Oh
a
God,
thing
it's
that he
hard.
did?
It's hard to know. Look, now, finally, eventually, he's starting to look his age, and he's starting to play roles. But I am
He's still a handsome bastard.
for his age, he's still.
Dude, forget about
I'm
it.
keen as fuck to see him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, so am I.
That's gonna be great.
He's charming as fuck.
And lots of listener feedback, which we'll hear at the end of the show, had Fight Club, but I couldn't get past the grimy, awful clothes in Fight Club.
Now, you know what
To
was
pick
going
that.
on there, right?
Yes, because it's actually Edward Norton. But anyway,
No, forget all that. The reason that styling went for him is because, do you remember that period in the 90s where,
what 999?
yeah, late 90s, early aughts, whatever, like there was this hipstery movement where the people would have these old, shitty looking, like pajama top sweatshirts with motorcycles on them, and that's what he was doing. He was actually cool for the time, and I
I
remember
remember that ridiculous faux fucking coat.
the faux
thing.
coat, like that, but that was all his character. You
I know. That's why I couldn't.
But you didn't dig it?
Too grimy.
See, I dug it. I actually dug
Too
it.
grimy for me. So I went forward a few years to Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, he's cool as shit in that movie.
Cool as shit.
Cool
You know, he's
as
rocking
shit.
the suit. He's cool on the crisis. The only thing that causes him any degree of angst is his wife on the show and eventually in real life, Angelina Jolie, which is another reason why this man I have a man crush on. If you can manage, and I mean manage in a nice sense,
Yeah.
to be with Angelina Jolie at that stage of her wild child kind of life,
You've
got some mad
some wicked
skills.
dick game, man.
That, and I don't just mean dick game, I mean like communication skills.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, as a professional in the psych.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be a fascinating guy to talk to, and just every so often he seems like an old soul in a beautiful body.
Probably. Like, I remember when, like, because he's obviously a good guy with all the adopting of the African children.
Yeah, well, they both are. You know,
Yeah.
obviously it's Angelina Jolie as well. So.
Exactly. But I remember now, he did cheat on Jennifer Aniston with her, so sure. But these things happen when you're in Hollywood.
Look,
I don't know.
I'm not. You know, obviously cheating's not good. I'm not endorsing it. But if you're ever going to cheat with anyone, it's the chick who will have a vial of your blood around her throat.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about Angelina Jolie. I don't know, man. Like
That's bewitching.
well,
bewitching.
interestingly, Angelina Jolie is in fact our exact age.
I know.
So that, like, in the back of your head,
I mean,
are
is
you
she?
like, that means I got a shot? Which you took, yeah, you know,
That's
a little bit. There's a little bit of that going on. So,
Whereas, yeah, Brad Pitt. So it's just got this effortless charm as well. Almost picked the Ocean's films.
oh, dude, that's where
in
this
that
shit
as well.
went. Fucking
But he kind of
nuclear.
dyed his hair blonder for that or some shit.
Yeah,
or
but he
whatever.
was so cool. You know, he wore a French cuff shirt with no cuffs, with no cufflinks.
Who can do that?
No one, literally no one can do it, but he makes
Except
it work.
Brad Pitt.
Forget about it.
That's what I'm
Good
saying.
choice.
It should be on this list. Don't know what you're thinking.
The thing is, I don't know if I would enjoy hanging out with him as much because he's noted to know I basically much only have
How
famous
many
friends.
stories would there be about? Well, this time with Angelina.
Yeah, I don't think he talked to me though.
But
But
we're assuming he has agreed
to hang. Okay, well, fair enough. Look, it's not a bad choice. It's just not on
Oh,
mine.
well, thanks.
My number 5 though is the broiest of bros, but also he's a legend. Paul Rudd, baby. Paul
I
Rudd.
seriously considered him.
Oh man, Paul
so
Rudd.
he's my 12.
You know,
13 maybe.
no, that's I saw this interview with him where someone asked him like, "You got into superhero shape for Ant-Man and the Wasp. How did you feel with six-pack abs?" He says, "Like an imposter." They're like, "Yep, really?" He says, "Nothing gets in the way of humor like muscles do. It's the enemy of comedy. Thankfully, I didn't have to go full Hemsworth." So he was, yeah. So he was like, I don't know. What's cool about this guy is he plays a lot of range, but people don't know it. In This Is 40, he's kind of a bad guy. In Role Models, he's kind of a bad guy. Or at least like the more, not the sweet, innocent, kind of nice, hey, everyone's your pal guy. He's a bit of a cunt. In the other movies, everything else, like fucking 40-year-old virgin, this, that, whatever, he is the bomb. And he's just cool. He's funny. He's genuinely funny. Also, he's like ageless.
That is 100% correct.
He's like a vampire.
That's why he fell off my list.
Why? Because you're jealous? Fair enough.
Yep.
He doesn't know what it's like to look old.
Yeah. Motherfucker's 50.
I know. And he's
You are not allowed to look that much better than me when you're 50.
no shit, man. He looks younger. I think I posted that quiz where you can't do
Yeah.
the fuck. Oh, fuck. And he's been married forever to the same woman.
Oh.
Like, that's insane. If you're that good looking, you know, he's
Yeah.
in Hollywood. I'm just saying, people. By the way, Role Models is awesome, and I Love You Man is even more awesome. I'm telling you, these are some classy
Can't
ads.
imagine why I Love You Man is even more awesome on this episode.
Actually, there should almost be a review of that. This is a great fucking movie. So, yes, check it all out, people. By the way, Leslie Mann, who was in Knocked Up and This Is 40 with him, describes him as someone who's really good looking but behaves like somebody who isn't. That's pretty good.
It's the best combo, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not full of
Yeah,
himself.
everyone loves the hot chick who doesn't know she's hot. Unfortunately,
Or no, it doesn't acknowledge that she's hot.
do you think she knows? Because women are different to men. If a man's
I
even
don't know. Let's ask a woman.
if a man's even remotely good looking, he thinks he's fucking Fabio, right? And if a woman
You want my bun?
exactly, and if a woman is actually attractive, she still doesn't think she's attractive. So we work different ways here.
That's true. That part is true. My number 4, I'm expecting, but maybe not.
Sure.
Come on your list. It's Ryan Reynolds.
Dude, Ryan Reynolds is so on my list.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Don't
So,
worry about it, son.
and here's the weirdness about my choice.
Mm.
I went for Deadpool as my peak Ryan.
Really?
Not when he is Deadpool, but in the first part of the film when he's
What?
and this
That's
goes
when he's the
against
best looking?
Yeah, this goes against what I was saying before because he's a bit down on his luck. He's a bit more grimy. He's a mercenary for hire, but he's at peak funniness in this movie for me.
Oh, you could probably argue that, yes.
So that's why he climbs so high on this list. Like, I want to hang with this guy, man, because
No
there would be
shit.
fucking laughs galore.
He is the bomb.
Doesn't matter if we don't get to lay together. It would still be funny.
You don't have to give me your whole dick, Ryan, just the tip. Okay, look, so I actually like him. I find him more attractive than his wife.
I don't.
Straight up. Right?
Because you're a strange man. But
I know, everyone loves Blake Lively for some reason. Oh, she's very nice. But anyway, he appears classy on the red carpet, but is actually funny in real life. I've seen him on radio shows where he's dropping
so I'm saying he's
bombs.
funny in real life.
That is the best thing.
His Instagram account is full of him and Blake Lively, who's also very funny, giving each other shit back and forth.
It's
That's
cool, right?
Great.
I saw an Instagram story of his where he's obviously working on a Michael Bay movie now, right?
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's actually just
And
like...
he's better than Detective Pick-a-Poo.
Did you see it?
No?
Okay, fine. I didn't either.
Oh, fuck?
Yeah. Well, he's got to do something to pay the bills. But he...
College ain't cheap.
That's right. He's doing this video and he's talking to the camera on Instagram and he's standing behind this at the end of this alley or something where there's like a street on the outside and he's like, the thing I like about Michael Bay movies is it's nice, quiet, and right in the middle of that, this massive explosion of car goes through the thing. Very cool. He had to set up that shot just for the thing. Perfect.
If not for Rai's immense and immeasurable charm,
Agreed.
the
He's a charming
Hitman's
man.
bodyguard would have been a shadow of itself.
You know what? I love the
I don't
Hitman's
understand
Bodyguard.
people who hate that movie. I just don't get
I
it.
adore the movie, and people are like, oh, what are you talking
It's
about?
on Netflix at the moment. I almost watched it again the other night.
I've watched it 3 times, so forget about it.
And I've always followed him since Two Guys, a Girl and a Pizza Place. That's right. It used to be Two Guys, a Girl and a Pizza Place.
That's
and then they
right.
dumped the Pizza Place. It was Two Guys and a Girl.
That's right, and then they did that weird Violent Femmes-ish theme song. It was weird, but yeah, I love that show too.
There you go. That's why it's my 4.
Very good. My number 4 is Keanu Reeves. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Lo, 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 lo,
All
lo.
right, Paul believes that one is low, everyone.
Low, 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 low,
I feel this is not worth the time for us to hear this shit. All right, so Paul's a big fan of KK, Anu Reels.
KK?
I'm giving him a nickname right now.
Fuck, it's ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
Fuck
Him
you.
at 4. How dare you?
Oh, really? Well, this dude is clearly a legend. He donated most of his paycheck to the Matrix, to the crew. Legend? Who does that?
Amazing.
So there's actually an account by a crew member who said, like, literally, he paid for an operation for...
I'm going to hold off on all the things. We
Okay.
don't normally know this in the show, but I'm going to hold off all the things I love about Keanu Reeves till I get to him.
Okay, let me just give you, like, one more thing.
Give me yours.
Apart from all that
perspective.
shit, I saw a video where he gave up his seat on the train
I'm
for a woman.
I saw exactly.
And the way he did it was just, I'm just a normal guy. Fucking cool. Plus, he's in a train.
Exactly.
You know, Keanu Reeves. You know, when he came to Perth, right? He came to Perth many years ago, before all of this, like, when he was, I guess,
For The Matrix?
I think it was actually before The Matrix, but it was he was doing
After
like,
Bill and
like
Ted,
Point
then.
Break and shit like that, you know?
Okay, so mid to early 90s.
Yeah, that. It was still very hot, right? He was in Perth for a while, and he was with one girl, and they went somewhere, and people all marveled that this girl was normal looking. Like she just wasn't a supermodel and this and that. He's that kind of guy where he just hangs with whoever. I think. I don't know. I like him. Anyway, but we'll talk about. We'll hear more about it.
We do like him.
When you come back.
We like him a lot.
Mm.
My number 3 is a guy who should be on this list auto-fucking-matically.
All right.
And he's not going to be on yours.
What?
And I'm going to laugh. I'm going to do more than that. In fact, I'm going to do this.
I fart in your general direction.
All right. Who?
Because
is
you
it?
don't have you don't have Kurt Russell on your list.
Great choice.
Confirm or deny, Wayne? Confirm or deny?
He's not on my list. Now, let me tell you about.
Silent disdain.
Look, it's not a bad choice at all. You know what? As a man with a round face, I tend to not find other round-faced men attractive.
You idiot. God damn it, you made me cough
Sorry.
and incorporate that into the show. Look, round faces aside, Wayne,
Look, there's no doubt he's a legend.
Kurt Russell is the man that every man wished they could be.
Now, you're talking about
And
Snake.
every woman wished they could be with. Unless
Look.
they weren't attracted to men, in which case they still went, he could be my dad.
Look, he's all dimples and eyelashes. I don't know necessarily that his particular good-looking is my good-looking. You know what
Fair
I'm saying?
enough. Okay.
So
I can't
but-
tell you what your taste
But
should
he's
be.
like, when was he hottest?
Oh, this is so hard.
Are you saying Snake or are you saying Tango?
Snake.
Yeah, look, he's definitely younger in Snake.
Snake.
In Escape
And
from
I'm
New
going to
York.
go with Escape from New York. Peak Kurt. But
Yeah.
I'm okay with Escape from LA Kurt.
No, I'm okay
And
with fucking.
everything in between.
I'm okay with Guardians
including
of the Galaxy
Tango.
Kurt. He's fucking cool.
Or Cash, actually. Cash.
Tango and Cash was where I related most with him because it was the 90s and I was like, yeah, what's up? Although I did want to be Sly, not him. But,
I
you know,
wanted to be Cash.
you want to be Cash? We
Yeah.
would have been a great Tango and Cash, except in no way at all.
And I would then want to bang your sister.
Fair enough. I'd let you. I'd like, go
Terry
for
Hatcher.
it.
Yeah, cool.
Good, fine. I mean, I'm like, I get it.
And no disrespect to your sisters, but that's just weird.
No.
Anyway, moving on.
It has gotten weird. It's gotten very weird.
Good. At the 45-minute mark, give or take of the show, because then it's
I
the
thought it'd
point
be
where...
weird right from the beginning.
Yeah, weird from the beginning. Nope. It's when I reference banging Terry Hatcher as Wayne's sister. That's when it got weird.
It's only weird because I would want to bang Terry Hatcher, but then in the movie she's...
Oh, well, that's even weirder
it's
still.
so weird.
Weird.
So weird. All right, okay. Moving on.
Kurt Russell, he's fucking so cool. And even Captain fucking Ron is cool.
Well, hang on a second.
Cool. He's cool.
Hey, okay, yeah,
You want to
okay.
hang. You want to hear his stories. He's just this is a bloke who screams. He has so many different stories about.
Actually, I probably would have hung with him. Yeah.
things. Never got married to Goldie Hawn, but they had Kay Hudson as a kid, and like
Yeah, he never
you
got
know,
married. at all.
I would thought you of all men would respect that.
As a man who never, yeah, well, absolutely. I didn't know that he never got married to her. I know it now, and I like him a bit more.
Yep, on your list
He's not on my list.
should be.
He wasn't even.
Now we factored the non-marriage thing in.
I'll be honest.
What if I told you they don't live together?
Wow,
No, I don't know about that.
he's
But
looking better and better.
sorry, that was giving Wayne some subtle shit. That's my number 3. Then Kurt Russell, everybody's favorite dude from that era of cinema.
We'll see. My number 3 was actually Ryan Reynolds, so we're straight back
very,
to you.
very, very close. All right, my number 2 is as perfect, I think, a physical specimen who is elevated to this point on the list because of 2 things.
What?
1, he's funny as fuck,
Mm.
and 2, he's Australian. Chris Hemsworth.
I thought you were going to say Hugh Jackman.
No.
Okay, Chris Hemsworth. Let's talk about this. Now, first of all, you may be right with the good-looking thing. I don't know that there's technically... Actually, there is in my head, but even...
Come on.
You ever talk to you...
Thor Ragnarok, Chris Hemsworth has the long hair and the short hair.
Well, I don't like these long-haired louts like you, Paul. But I...
Apparently not with St. Plissken not getting looking.
No, the long hair is going to kill it for me unless you're a chick. So, the...
Please, if you're a chick, have long hair.
Well, that's a plea from both of us. Don't just push it on me, motherfucker.
Well, I was making it, but I'm glad you jumped in to save me.
Well, now Chris Hemsworth. Have you ever talked to like independent women who are like, I don't like this, I don't like that, or whatever? Some of these women will say things that are progressive, like, I don't really dig white guys. They say stuff like that. I've heard that a couple times. All right,
Fine, if you don't
I'm
like
sure they're saying it for my benefit, but I say, oh, you don't like white guys? Yeah. And then I go, Chris Hemsworth? Oh, no, I'd fuck him. Do you know what I mean? So it's a transcendent thing for this guy.
Yeah.
He's so good looking, and that body is nuts.
It's
like
all of the above.
all
But
points.
what puts him here is acknowledging the Adonis-ness of him. It's the humor. This is a bloke who would have thunk he had
Could be
those
funny.
comic, and it's not just in his roles where he has displays a wonderful sense of comic timing.
Yeah.
it's in real life when he's giving interviews and he just says just the cracker of a line.
Do you know
here
what?
and
I'm
there.
going to give you a little insight here about how I view Australian men. Now, I live in Australia.
Yes, and I'm an Australian man, so tread carefully.
I know. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Oh, okay. There's a shock.
No, I'm just having been culturally Australian myself, I'm still of Asian descent and don't look like you, and don't think like exactly the same as you guys generically.
I think if you're exactly the same as us, we're much more better.
Okay, that's cool. Whenever I see Aussie dudes like Chris Hemsworth, Hugh Jackman, Heath Ledger on some levels, being interviewed, you have a way about you which is just a little bit cocky and cool. Like, you tend to respond larrikiny.
Yeah, you say cocky and cool. I think it's the opposite. I think it's a case of...
Sorry, not cocky. I'm saying right.
It's like,
cool.
I'm whatever about this.
That's right. Sorry, it's probably laid back and cool. I don't know
Yeah.
why I said cocky, but yes, it's like that. And I really think it's cool.
They come across as very down to earth.
Because you don't hear, I don't know, I'm still not used to hearing the Aussie accent like on a screen. It's still quite rare because Hollywood's Hollywood. But when it happens, I don't know, it's easier to allow that. And I think that's what Chris Hemsworth has going for him as well. So I agree with this one. He's not on my list. He's not on my list because I think I'd be too nervous.
What, to sit and have a chat with him?
Yeah, I think I have a real problem.
Or do you
with
mean
it.
to have his cock anywhere near you? Because that would be hard.
Especially
for him.
Yeah, I mean, he still has hammer, bud. But like, no, just I think he's so good looking.
Oh, Wayne Breaker.
I know. You should have gone for my head. What? Yes. So yes, I honestly think I'd be nervous around him. There you go. I'd be nervous around him.
You can't handle the
I
truth.
can't even handle Thor's hammer, bitch.
All right, you're number 2, sir.
My number 2 dude is fucking. This guy is as cool as it gets, and he is a charm machine, and it's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, okay. I understand it.
Okay, because like.
Just don't think your number one's going to be what I think it is, and I'm going to ask you to explain yourself.
Okay, we'll talk about this. Even when he was trying to resurrect his career like 4 times after having been in jail and getting fat and shit, this guy's a phoenix, man. I believe he's actually probably the biggest star in Hollywood this moment. Would you say?
I think I don't know.
With
I
that
haven't
box office
seen the
return-
Forbes
Yeah.
reports of money making, but
It's not about money making. I'm just talking about popularity. This guy, who doesn't know Bob Downey Jr. after his illustrious career and this latest massive hit? Like,
yeah, he's right up there. I don't want to get
so anyway,
bogged down in the. Yeah.
Well, I think he got this purely because he's cool and charming. Now he's also talented, but many dudes are talented as him. No one else is this cool. You remember Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? You know I love that show.
Heard of it.
He is a charm machine. Heard of it. I don't know. He's dialed it all up to 11, and I like him now, like more so than when he was young. When he was young, he's doing like Less Than Zero and shit like that. He was just a pillhead
his
looking
biography.
guy. Yeah. And exactly. But that's the thing. He kicked all that shit, and now he's this. He must have lived so many lives. Do you know what I mean? To go so high, so low, so high, low, low, and now he's the biggest again. That's a goddamn story I want to hear.
Yeah, sure. I can totally. I get the feeling that Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr.
Absolutely, which is why it's so authentic. But that's the cool thing, though, right? This guy isn't actually self-deprecating at all. He is straight on his sleeve, fuck you everyone, I'm the best, but not in a bad way. He makes jokes about how he's the biggest, which is good. Like, I remember he's at this Avengers panel.
Wayne also makes jokes about he's the biggest.
Yeah, but I'm not actually, so it works completely not at all. But I remember seeing on an Avengers panel, right? Someone, like, we'll open up the questions and someone asked a question to, like, Chris Evans or something. And then as Chris Evans starts to talk, Robert Downey Jr. just goes, the next time I'm not asked the first question, I'm going to fucking write like this, and everyone lost it. That is shit you can only get away with if you are a charming motherfucker.
I see why he appeals to you, because you're the only man I know who can ask a flat-out sexist question to a bunch of women, and they'll just go, oh, wait. Oh, you. If any other person, man in the world asked it, it'd be like, fuck this guy, and probably tell him that to his face.
Yeah, look, I've gotten that too. So, I mean,
Rarely.
I grew up with sisters. I can talk to them chicks.
It's a fine line,
It's
and you straddle it perfectly.
Very kind of you, very kind of you.
Perfectly. All right, I get it. That's not at all misplaced.
Nice.
I'm very interested to hear your number one.
Oh,
but
dude.
first of all, we'll get there, because this will be the first time in many weeks we're going to compare our lists and ask for listeners to vote
Yeah,
who
this
has
will
a
be
better
cool.
list.
Yeah.
So this one totally fits the brief. So here is my recap, and then revealing my number one.
Okay.
At number 10, Henry Cavill. 9, Michael B. Jordan. 8, Harrison Ford. 7, Chris Evans. 6, Paul Newman. 5, Brad Pitt. 4, Ryan Reynolds. 3, Kurt Russell. 2, Chris Hemsworth. And my number one, no surprise if you've been paying attention, it is Keanu Reeves.
Number one for you.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Look, I
Here's
agree.
why.
He's on my list, but go
He's
on.
on your list. We've only got, 2 crossovers so far, I think?
Yeah, only a couple.
He is, like you said, the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Right? That whole get up off your seat thing. Time and again, there's talk about how he is so down to earth.
And
just-
he's had such a tough life as well.
And that's the thing. He's got a sense of humor. Have you seen Always Be My Maybe yet?
I saw it. I totally saw it.
If not for the Keanu Reeves cameo, that film would be fucking terrible.
Completely agree.
Complete piece of shit.
But also, he's doing like 2 or 3 scenes in it. It's not just a
Yeah,
cameo.
it's a 15-minute
it's
window
like, yeah.
of gloriousness amongst the absolute drudgery of a romantic comedy.
where he's giving himself a ton
Yes.
of shit.
And like, how good a sense of humor must you have to play a douchey version of yourself
Absolutely.
so well?
Yes, and he's playing
It's
himself.
too close to the bone.
Right. I wouldn't be able to do
Right?
it because I know I'm a cunt.
Because too many people would think that's actually how you are.
Right. So you need
Brilliant.
to play. Exactly.
Brilliant.
He's confident.
And yet, despite it comes from this part of a horrible past, his girlfriend died. I think she was pregnant with their child and she
horrible.
died. It's just this awful, awful story. And he's come through it.
And you wouldn't know it to look. He doesn't look world weary.
He doesn't carry the weight of the world on his
Yes.
shoulders at all.
That's it. He's fun to be around.
He seems like
Seems
it. But
like
he
it.
also seems like he's deep. Like he's got some Eastern philosophical sort of values and religious values, I believe. It's brilliant.
Oh, Eastern religion is fine.
No, but I mean, like, I think this is more in depth than just, it's all
Absolutely.
God's
This guy's,
will. Yeah, so he's going to have all the stories. It doesn't hurt that at 53, I think he is. He's still fucking easy on the eyes.
It's banging.
But
I mean,
it's-
I don't love that beard, but yeah, it's banging.
It's the
banging.
depth of him, like, and then how far he goes for his art.
Yes.
There's no actor or actress who trains as hard for a role as Keanu Reeves, as far as I'm aware.
He actually
Of the mainstream A-list Hollywood talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you're a B or a C-lister, and you, like Scott Adkins or something like that, I'm sure you do.
For the Al Pacino movie he was in, the
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate,
It's a long time back.
he dropped his income or whatever
Again.
what he's paying so they could get
Let's
Al
get Al
Pacino.
Pacino.
And he's done it twice. He's done it in another one.
So fucking cool.
Amazing.
He was my lock number one the moment that you convinced me to do this ridiculous topic.
Really? That was the guy you thought of?
Yeah, immediately.
Wow.
It was never in question. Chris Hemsworth and Kurt Russell, they were vying for 2 and 3, but Keanu was my number one. I love him. I know he's not the world's best actor. I don't give a fuck. This is about
That's
my
the
movie
thing.
man
That's
crush.
the thing that's impressive about him.
Yep.
All right? He's not. He's like Bruce Springsteen. He's not the best singer, but he's the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Never heard that comparison
I'm
before.
telling you,
but okay.
Bruce Springsteen's like that. He hasn't got the great voice, but he's just the shit. So, anyway. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Here's my 10 to 1. 10 was Timothy Oliphant. 9, John Hamm. 8, George Clooney. 7, Bradley Cooper. 6, Alec Baldwin. 5, Paul Rudd. 4, Keanu Reeves.
Low.
3, Ryan Reynolds. 2, Bob Downey Jr. And my number 1 is Henry Cavill. That's right. And I'll tell you why.
I have 3 words for you.
Oh, please,
when we
bring
finish.
it on. All right.
4 words. But when we finish, you
Okay,
please
fine.
tell.
All right.
Henry Cavill. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Again, he's the guy I thought of because I'll tell you this. Every time we talk about, who do you dig, he's the first guy that comes to mind. I've never seen anyone that looks like that. And I totally want to be him. I totally want to be him.
So
I
in
couldn't
your
be further
world,
from the
then-
mark. No, in my world, he's the best around. But yes. And you know what?
It's like the way, like, every time I think in my head, how can I make that sound grammatically correct? And I go, fuck it. Bam.
No, I know what you're doing. I know your little game, okay? But yes, as I said, apart from all the shit we just talked about then, when Ashley, who's from the Ravios podcast, she sends me memes and like Instagram posts of Henry Cavill, and I genuinely enjoy them. I genuinely enjoy him watching work out. This is the gayest I've ever been for a dude. And I'm more than John Mayer. Nah, about the same.
Big calls.
Okay, Mayer's probably bigger, but that's music. It's a whole different thing. So,
Only in his music. Okay.
yeah, totally.
I don't know about that. I don't know it physically.
Yeah, I don't know. I have an odd reconciliation with this whole playing the gay joke thing because I don't actually want any dicks in my mouth, but I would be fine if I love talking about it.
God damn it. I wish I was on the screen and said, what? No.
So, yeah. But, I'll try. So, whatever.
So I've said that effectively that Henry Cavill is the best around for you.
Yeah.
Now I wish to acknowledge how much better. Are you done with
I'm done. Go ahead.
how much better Keanu is?
Take it back!
The effect does not help the stupid-ass fucking irrelevant sound, Paul.
Well, you're kind of half right. I understand Cavill's on the list. I'm just surprised. And here's my 4 words.
Okay.
Well, 5 now. Where's T to the C?
That's right. Everyone, I have a well-known I guess it's a man crush, but it's more of an admirational thing for Tom Cruise. That's right. I think Tom Cruise is great, but here's why he's not on my list. Tom Cruise, I have a creative crush on him. I respect his work. I pretty much see everything he's ever been in, and the only misstep he's done in recent times is that damn mummy thing. Usually, it's pretty good. I didn't even mind Jack Reacher. I was fine with it, all right?
First one's fine.
First one's fine. The second one's a bit shit. But, yeah, I actually don't know that his Scientology ass will actually be good to hang out with. I don't really...
I had short money on George Clooney,
Fair enough.
Ryan Reynolds,
Sure.
and T to the C. So 2 out of 3.
Yeah, well, you didn't have Alec Baldwin.
I forgot. I must admit.
See? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why Tom ain't on there. But who are your honorable mentions?
We've heard them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we
I got a
absolutely.
boatload of them. I got Zac Efron. Yeah, I don't care. John Krasinski, hilarious. I had Chris Hemsworth too. Also Paul Newman. Can we talk about Seth Rogen? He's not an
How would
attractive.
you like to suck my balls?
He's not an attractive man, but he's the guy I would want to hang out with over all of these people.
Well, yes, because he does the weed and I mean, he likes the substances.
Absolutely, but more than that, he just seems hilarious every time he talks with that voice of his. He's fucking hilarious, man. I would be sitting all the way. That's the bomb. Also, Daniel Craig, but again, I don't know if he's actually a nice guy. I just want to hang out with James Bond.
I don't get a sense of.
I don't get it either. That's why you left the list. So there you are, man. Oh, and by the way, neither of us mentioned Ryan Gosling. Yeah, because, to me, this is just me. Okay, I'm sure a bunch of women...
Vacuous.
Well, a bunch of women would probably disagree with this, but to me, if I saw Ryan Gosling at a party and I didn't know he was famous, I would just think he was another guy. He's probably an attractive man, but only to some. He's not like Chris Hemsworth. You know what I mean? That's a guy, who's that? Not Ryan Gosling. But I appreciate
I
that.
see his good looks, but just his personality. He's so under the radar. It's
Yeah,
hard to tell.
he's very quiet, so maybe
Yeah,
he wouldn't be
hard
a
to
good
tell.
hang. Yeah,
Hard to
fair enough.
That is it then for this week's episode of the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews, at least in terms of our lists.
Sure.
Top 10 movie man crushes. But what about you, the listeners? We like to finish up every episode with your take on the topic. It's our Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Talk about. Pop 10. Kicking off this week's Pop 10 with Kelvin from the Go Watch a Movie podcast. We had the pleasure on guesting on a few months ago now.
Word.
I'm going to assume he said this is all Wayne's idea. Lol. 100% correct. Number 3, Michael Fassbender. 2, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, none of us mentioned
No,
him now,
either,
did we?
but number 1, Harrison Ford. So thank you for that, Kelvin. The cinema guys had Kurt Russell, Keanu Reeves, and Bruce Willis.
Oh, we know Bruce Willis is an asshole, don't we?
Well, that's kind of what I came back with and said you had me until Bruce Willis. Because
Yeah.
he clearly don't give no fucks no
Yeah, he doesn't give a
more.
shit at all.
Yeah.
But cool.
Fair enough. Stephen from the Super Retro Throwback podcast, late 80s, early 90s Keanu Reeves, early 90s Brad Pitt, and 60s Steve McQueen.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest-
Look, it's
greatest
like, I
date?
mean, that's a photograph for Facebook right there.
For sure. Something a bit different from Mackenzie Lambert, long-term listener to the show, Franco Nero,
Wow.
Fred the Hammer Williamson, and Bruce Campbell.
How did you not have Bruce Handel?
When Mackenzie reminded me, I just considered it, and I went, you know what? Yes, in his heyday.
I know. It's
For
yeah, I know.
shiz, and it'd be a good story, and yep, should have been on there. Other
The
than
thing is,
Henry Cavill.
it's not an attraction thing with Bruce Campbell. It's a hey, that guy.
How
from my
cool
show.
is
Yeah,
this
cool.
guy?
Is it? Yeah.
But I have to, and then
But other
here's-
guys are cooler.
Here's what ruled me out.
What?
It's quite apparent that Bruce has embraced his coolness. Like, I am the shit. I think he's quite full of himself.
I mean, he did that book, that B-movie book, but I know what
Two
you
of
mean.
them, right?
Yeah.
But like just the way he is in interviews and stuff doesn't convince me he would even deign to look at someone.
Really?
You
Yeah,
know?
okay. Well, you would
I
know.
could be wrong,
You would
but
know.
that's the impression that I get.
But Franco Nero? Was this Enter the Ninja? It was an old shitty ass movie.
Yeah, and Fred Williamson, he's the dude from Dust to Dawn.
Dust
right?
Till Dawn, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Shaft guy.
Yeah. Emily Higgins from the Tasteless podcast, Chris Hemsworth, Ryan Reynolds, and Paul Rudd. So all three
Boom.
mentioned there. From Mike from the Bad Reception podcast, Michael B. Jordan.
Bird?
Not Borden, not at all. Paul Newman and Kurt Russell. So,
You've been hanging on this guy's list.
Mike, you can just vote for me, man. Come join our listening community, please. Stacey Hurley, who is the ginger half of the Movie Reviews and 20 Qs podcast with Sam from New Zealand. We're going to have them on the show in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to be on their show in a couple of weeks' time as well. Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., there you go, Wayne.
Oh, what's up, son?
And Brad Pitt. So Stacey hitting both of our lists there.
Nice.
The Sometimes Dead podcast. Oh, man, so many. George Clooney in Out of Sight.
Boom.
Tom Hardy in Anything.
I don't know.
The first of many, many Tom Hardy.
A lot of Tom Hardy fans out there. He was only attractive in fucking that Rock and Roller in that movie.
What about in Inception?
less so, I thought. But okay.
Michael B. Jordan in anything as well. From Pine to Comics. Great podcast. Do check them out. This is easy. Timothy Oliphant.
Yo, what's up?
7 era Brad Pitt and George Clooney. So there's a vote for you.
What's up, son? That's the bomb.
All right, over to our Facebook listener community. Lenny Salter, good friend, patron to the show, said, okay, so is it too much of a cop-out to say the 3 Chris's, Pratt, Hemsworth, and Evans?
Pratt don't make it immature. He's just not hot enough.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. Troy Spinner from the Comic Confidential podcast, who, of course, we are part of their network, CC Radio. Check it out, ccradio.com.au. Troy says 1, 2, and 3 is Henry Cavill.
Oh, what's
in
up, son?
Pretty much anything.
Absolutely.
Henry Cavill is in, and I'm pretty sure that means either Wayne or Troy's ass.
Fine with me.
Ah, dear. Ryan O'Neill, Jensen Ackles, even though he's mainly for TV show Supernatural, but he was in My Bloody Valentine.
He sure is a good-looking guy.
Remake. He is a good-looking bloke, as is his brother, who I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Or his actual brother or the one in the show?
The show.
Oh, no, I don't think that guy's attractive.
Don't you?
No.
Sam? I
Yeah,
can't remember his name.
Long hair, fucking shit. It's crap.
Oh, damn. You're on like a long hair. Billy Dunham from the We Watch the Thing podcast. Great show. And Billy, of course, a good friend and supporter of the show. Brody, Jason Lee from Mallrats.
I actually do agree he's kind of a good-looking guy.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be like, what the fuck?
No, because I love My Name is Earl.
Yeah, who doesn't love My Name is Earl? That was a great show. Wesley, serious consideration for my list as well, from The Princess Bride.
Oh,
Carrie
Elwes.
Elwes. Yes. And number 1,
If he'd done more stuff. Yeah.
The Rock in everything.
I understand wanting to hang with The Rock and wanted to not bang him necessarily because he'd tear that asshole up. But yeah, probably.
Blake Jarvis, great friend to the show, said, can't believe Paul agreed to this. His list is going to be ridiculous. Well, there you go, Blake. Now you can make your determination. Number 3, Tom Hardy. Number 2, Kurt Russell. Number 1, Tom Cruise.
Nice. Look, keep going for him.
The
T to the C, baby. Like, I'm glad he has his people. Still.
Ashley Gorski, who's another wonderful friend to the show, and of course Ashley's podcast is may well be coming back.
Oh, nice.
Rabbit Ears TV show podcast. Not confirmed yet. You can find
She's
her
got to
on
have Henry Cavill on there.
Netflix and so. Let's find out. They're not numbered, so I'll just give you in this order. Tom Hardy.
Yep.
Joshua Jackson.
Pacey from The Creek?
I thought maybe get a bit of Wayne Lube going.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The other one, Henry Cavill.
Okay, good. Good to know that. Yeah, excellent.
She's consistent. Yes, there you go. Joe Ketchum, quote unquote guilty podcast or Word Sale Productions. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I'll fuck anyone who's fucked Scarlett Johansson. Chris Evans, Captain America, is dreamy. I'll even have a go in his endgame old man makeup.
Oh, well done.
And George Lazenby. This man was liquid sex in his day.
Really? George Lazenby.
We had
He did like one movie, man.
Well, yeah. Can I just say, we had so many responses to this.
Yeah, we did.
It was absolutely ridiculous. We
I
couldn't
love
keep up.
that.
So we got a little bit over 10 just to honour all the efforts people have made. From John Hoslander, Bruce Lee, Kurt Russell, and Ewan McGregor. Some new ones are there.
Oh, a bit of yellow fever.
Troy way back in, and he had to ask this, and I'm going to give him double props. All I want to know is how high this stud is going to rank with a picture of Steven Seagal. The most hated man on this show, no question. And if you heard that little bump in the background, that was Wayne's head knocking pens off his
I threw my head
whiteboard.
back into the whiteboard sill.
Oh, gold. Julio from the Contrarians podcast, another great supporter and friend of the show, just had a picture of Michael Fassbender laughing.
Fassbender, eh? My ex was really into Fassbender, so it probably precluded it a bit.
I think Julio is a big proponent of large shafts.
I see. Yeah, he's
I don't know. That was a joke. You weren't supposed to say I see. You're supposed to laugh.
He's got a hog on him, let's face it.
Now, then we have from Lisa, back on Twitter, Jason Momoa, first mention.
Oh, yeah.
Idris Elba, got a lot of mentions, first mention of him, and Chris Hemsworth. But she said, I feel I need to pour a test. This is not a fair question. I'm leaving out so many, and then named a whole bunch of them. So, in other words, don't limit us to 3,
Yeah.
you asshole.
Sure. I met Jason Momoa.
Did you?
Yeah, at a Comic-Con. It was just one of those photo ops.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you have a photo with him?
Yeah.
How much that cost you?
It was with 2 other chicks, so it was like, I don't know, like $25-$30 something. I'm thinking.
It's not bad. From this weekend was Oz Comic Con. There was some talk about like $240 for like 2 actors from, I don't know, dude who used to be on Buffy, DB Woodside.
What?
Shit like that. So we'll have
This
to
was before he was Aquaman.
Oh, maybe that's why. It would have probably gone up exponentially after that. Now, here's the thing I wanted to mention to you. Off mic, I did say, I put this topic out there. Someone from the Robert Pattinson fan club got a hold of it.
Uh-oh.
And what followed was more mentions of Robert Pattinson than you could humanly poke a stick at,
Where?
or your stick.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. So it starts with Robert Pattinson worldwide, who said top 3, Leonardo DiCaprio, 2, Bill Skarsgård, number 1, Robert Pattinson.
Oh, wow.
Lauren had Jake Gyllenhaal, James McAvoy, and Robert Pattinson.
Whoa.
Kathy had Pattinson in Water for Elephants, Pattinson in Good Time, Robert. That's his name, Robert in Good Time, and Robert Pattinson in High Life, also named Robert.
You really?
Slave for Rob had Robert Pattinson playing any character. Candace had Robert Pattinson in High Life, Robert Pattinson in Cosmopolis.
Yep.
Yep, and Robert Pattinson in Water for Elephants. And RP Outside the Box had Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves, and Robert Pattinson. This went on. This went on and on and
Is
on.
this a thing? Like, look, so is it because he's Batman now?
No, it's just because
Everyone
people
wants
love the
our
Robert
Pats,
Pattinson.
Fats. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was absolutely credible, and I have to give credit. You love that. This is your wheelhouse. Fair enough. Can't knock it.
Yeah, sure.
Wrap it up with a couple more from Twitter, and then we will get out of here. Brooke Reading podcast, Melissa from that show. Number 3, Hugh Jackman. 2, Zachary Quinto. And number 1, hold your horses here, Colin Firth.
No, that's quite a popular choice. I actually was talking to a girl at work who said, "Yeah, he's the bomb." And then, really? Yeah, this girl's 29.
This is coming from a couple of blokes who clearly don't understand.
Oh, he looks like a wolf. My little sister told me he's got a wolfish face.
That's
like
attractive?
A lupine face. I think so. Some chicks dig it.
Okay.
Prince Harry's much the same.
Then from Cine Explorers, my wife got very flustered while watching The Guest, and I had to concur. So that's Dan Stevens. And they
The
added
blonde guy. Yeah.
the double whammy of Keanu and Patrick Swayze in Point Break hits the spot.
Agree.
2.
Agree.
And then lastly, from Jay Ledbetter from the In Session Film podcast, I feel personally insulted, he said, to have not been invited on this episode. The correct answer is 3, Michael B. Jordan, 2, Brad Pitt, and number 1, Harrison Ford.
Ooh, old school. Nice.
There we go. That is it for this week's Pop 10. Thank you so much for your feedback. And indeed, if you want to weigh in on future episodes and the topics that we put up, Wayne, how do listeners do that?
I would go ahead and Google the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast, or just send us an email at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com.
Or as many of you have, you can hit us up on Twitter at the Countdown PC. If you're looking for the show, old episodes of the show you can't find anymore on iTunes or Apple Podcasts anymore, you can head to our Podbean website, which the link is also in the show notes. And otherwise, you can find us on every podcatching app of note.
Yeah, if you want to hear more crap from us, go ahead and hit us up on Patreon.
Oh, Patreon as well. That's right. We have a whole bunch of extra stuff now, which has accumulated over the last almost 18 months. There's about, give or take, about 40 extra episodes of various content for you to listen to.
There you go.
Including some very embarrassing stuff at the higher level.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for this week's episode 219. Wayne, what's happening for episode 220? As if you had any fucking idea.
No idea whatsoever. Let me just check on my flat iPad.
Oh no! His iPad's gone to seed, everyone!
Mendoza.
You can't handle the truth.
Son of a bitch. All right, hold up a sec. Well, this week we were talking all about the dudes, so
Were we ever?
next week we're going to be talking about the ladies.
Oh yeah, but not in the way you're thinking.
That's right. Next week we're going to count down the top 10 female villains.
That's it.
Yeah, like female baddies.
Yeah.
The-
Antagonists.
Exactly.
Probably doesn't have the same ring to it to say
No,
antagonists,
it
but that's
doesn't.
what we're
We're
going to be
going to
doing.
say something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why we came up with this, but we did.
No, I like the idea.
It should be fun. It should be something quite different from the show. We have celebrated top 10 female superheroes in the past.
Yes.
Or heroes, so we're now doing the
Baddies.
antithesis of that. And yeah, we'll be very interested to see what kind of response
Totally, man. We like us a bad bitch.
we come up with. Some of us more than others, and probably me in this case. So
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're actually there.
All right, that is it for episode. Well, that will be 220. This is it for episode 219. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you today. My name is Paul,
My name is Wayne.
and this has been the Soundboard.
Ballsy. Stupid,
What the
but
fuck is
ballsy.
this shit?
Probably about next week's topic. We'll catch you then.
Stand by your man.
Man.